Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval. Today we'll be reviewing the first British aircraft carrier that we have in the tech tree. Now, but before that, let's go over British carriers just a little bit themselves. So for the tech tree carriers, we have Hermes, then we go to Eagle, we have Furious, Illustrious, Implacable, Audacious, and Malta. Now, British carriers are actually probably going to be my favorites for at least early and or low tier and high tier. Maybe not so much mid tier. I haven't really found a good mid tier carrier yet, but I really do enjoy them. They have a lot of good firepower, health, and just overall balance altogether. These carriers are designed for survivability, so keep that in mind. All right, so for today's video, we'll be going over Hermes, or at least the first layout. Now, she may have a somewhat interesting design, as you can kind of see here. She's very tall, but she's also a really fun ship. So let's see what we have for this ship today. We have an upgraded hull. Let's see what we get. We get more health, more hangar capacity, more AA guns, and a better rudder movement time. So we have a 36,000 health, 10% torpedo resistance, which is not a lot, up to 3 inches of armor maximum. That being on the belt. And then partially armored deck, it looks like. Kind of. It's hard to tell. Regardless, the ship itself does not have a lot of armor. I've not ran across one of these outside of playing one of these, so I don't really know how they stand up to surface ships. But let's see what else we have. Secondary gun turrets. We have 9 guns, and it's actually really fun to secondary brawl with this ship. So we have 2 guns here, 1 there, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You have a ton of secondaries on this ship. And like I said, it is really fun to actually secondary brawl with her. Not until obviously late game, and really only against other carriers. Maybe slightly destroyers, to an extent cruisers, but anything other than that, really nothing. Hangar capacity, we have 24 aircraft, so not a lot of aircraft. We have 9 anti-aircraft guns. We have middle range of 48 damage. So, yeah. You have what you have, honestly. And then let's see here. Speed. We have 25 knots. So she's not as slow as Langley, at least. But I don't... She might... This ship is very similar. British carriers in general are going to be a very good balance between American and Japanese carriers. They have the survivability in AA of American carriers combined with like American-ish really good fighters, but they also have the strike capability and survivability of Japanese carriers and the speed of Japanese carriers. So it's a really good mix in between both of these, and I really like that. Let's see here. You have 2 aircraft layouts. We have the one that we're going to be reviewing today, which is 1 squadron of 4 fighters, 1 squadron of 4 torpedo bombers, and 1 squadron of 4 dive bombers. And then you also have another one that's just the same thing, except you have another aircraft. You can upgrade your fighters. For fighters, you get more health, more speed, more kill efficiency. You do lose almost half of your ammo, though. So it's really up to what you want. Do you want to be able to stay in the game or the dogfight longer because you have more ammo, or do you want to try and win the dogfight by having a lot more health, a little bit more speed and better kill efficiency. Obviously, I'm going to go with these. I'd rather be confirmed I have a kill than just sit around waiting for them to happen. As you can see here, you do change the aircraft. There you go. It's Fairy Swordfish, these torpedo bombers, you're not going to be able to change those. You have what you have. And then for dive bombers, we start with Fairy Swordfish, and you can upgrade into Fairy Albacores. You just have pluses to all of those, so there's no reason why you should not change those. Without further ado, let's toss her into our first game for today. But before that, she is a matchmaking tier 4 carrier, so there's not a lot of strong AA ships at this tier. So you kind of have pretty much free reign over everything, but what aircraft you do lose, you can't really repair and send back out. So let's toss her into a game and see how we are today. Alright, here ourselves a game, actually a pretty big game. 1 carrier, 3 battleships, 4 cruisers, 3 destroyers. So let's see how we can do. What are the AA ships we have? Carrier is going to be strong. Queen Mary's have nothing. Kaiser is actually relatively good. Omahas have good AA. Yubari and Kuma have nothing at all. Clemson's have nothing. And Valkyrie, good for destroyer, but none that I'm really worried about. Alright, so if you haven't noticed, today was supposed to be update day. However, they have postponed it until tomorrow. Now, usually they don't postpone it, so I'm thinking that they have something big cooked up for this update. Maybe we'll start seeing the previews for the Russian battleships, since the news for them came out over 3 months ago now. I'm hoping that is true, however, we won't know till tomorrow. But regardless, the update is postponed, so whatever is coming out will come out tomorrow. So we're just gonna make our way. Let's see here. Let's actually head towards the right here, because if I can secondary rail a little bit, it'll be fun. But I really need to take out those battleships first, because those are the ones that really threaten me. Alright, so our fighters are just gonna chill over here. Torpedo bombers over here. Dive bombers over here. I don't need to keep my fighters with my strike aircraft. There's not enough AA down here to make me worry about that. And Queen Mary's have 12 DPS total. So yeah, there's nothing that they can really do. I think Clemson's may have like 9 or something. So pretty fast aircraft as well, as you can see here. Pretty wide spread, but it's actually the condensed spread, so I'll take that. Three torpedo hits. Let's bring our bombs out. 4 bomb hits. Not a lot of damage though. I'll take it though. Alright, let's engage these aircraft. They have more ammo, but I have our better kill efficiency. And now I have a fighter aircraft, or catapult fighter to deal with. Alright, so we can go tango a little bit. So that Queen Mary, I wasn't able to do pretty much anything to her. With 3 torpedoes and 4 bomb hits, it was just not enough to really put any kind of scratch on me. Okay, so let's bring back our aircraft. Now, if I really wanted to be passive or defensive, I would have gone on that side of the island. But I kind of do want to tango a little bit. And there's really not much that can threaten me from here. The Kaiser would tear me apart, but she's not anywhere close to me. At least for the time being. Too close for torpedo drop. Here's the dive bombers. Not the best drop. But hey, we got a fire this time at least. Obviously, this is not a brawler carrier. This is nothing like Graf Zeppelin. But it is kind of fun. Our torpedo bombers are ready. Where's our fighters? Oh, they're right over the enemy. So we're probably going to lose all of them. That's the price I pay for not paying attention. Actually, let's keep our secondaries going. Hey, we got 2 fighters with our secondaries on the Queen Mary. That's funny. But I still need her sunk. I'm not putting enough lead on my torpedoes. There we go, that should be good for dive bombs. 2 more fires. Our fighters were shot down. Now we're engaging the Clemson with our secondaries as well. I think we secondary killed her. That's fun. Alright, so now we have to go work on this Kaiser a little bit. Because that is the biggest threat that we have. Hopefully our Kuma can take care of this Clemson. Though I get the feeling that she won't be able to. As predicted, our Kuma goes down, so let's actually bring our dive bombers over here. I missed the Kaiser, really? Well, if that's the case, then not in a bad spot. Alright, so we can ignore the destroyer for right now. I can secondary some of these cruisers. I need to get damage on this Kaiser. I'll take that, thank you. Focus on this Omaha. I'll focus on this Yubari. Come back out for the Kaiser. Those are Yubari torps. Those are going to hurt a lot if they hit. There's Yubari. I need to go a little bit faster. Alright, I should be okay now. I'll bring our fighters over here. Alright, so let's kind of go back a little bit farther for our torpedoes this time. Not having the best luck with my torpedo bombers today. But now it's just me. I'm the only ship left on my team. So, time to go evasive since the carrier is now going to be attacking us. Bring our torpedo bombers back out. Might as well put our def AA up. I do have full AA skills equipped on her. Spare aircrafts, we have 3 fighters, that's it. And 2 more squadrons of, or 1 more squadron I should say, of fighters, or dive bombers and torpedo bombers. There we have the battleship sunk. There's another cruiser. What's the cruiser? It's an Omaha. Don't know where she is. But secondaries can take on the destroyers. We are going to end up taking 1 torp here. Of course, it's a flooding. Alright, our dive bombers. We sank another. Destroyer with torpedo or secondaries. We got a fire on this Hermes. And now we just need to find this Omaha. Because we're going to lose on points if we don't. We still might lose some points, actually. I have no idea where she is. And I can't use my fighters to scout yet, because I still need them here to guard against enemy aircraft that come from this Hermes. Such as these dive bombers. So let's start going this way with the torpedo bombers. I don't need a fire, thank you. Alright, good drop on the carrier, 2 fires. Alright, she can burn. Let's go take care of this Omaha. Which is surprisingly right where I thought she would be. Let's see how that works. I don't know if that's enough lead for the torpedoes, but if not, we can always bring our dive bombers back out. And maybe one. Yep, and then dive bombers can finish that. It's going to be close. I need to get into this cap here. And I need to sink a ship to save me some time. So therefore, I'm going to go after this Hermes. Since she's not that fast of a target. Boom. Alright, good. That gives me enough time to take on this Omaha. We're contesting a cap. Time to go secondary brawling with our secondaries. And try and sink her with torpedoes. And we get it with secondaries again. Alright, so what a game for the first one of Hermes. As you can see, I really love this ship. It's just such a fun ship, especially with the secondaries. You can troll so hard. 147,000 damaged, 8 ships sunk, 10 torpedo hits, 25 bomb hits, 19 aircraft shot down, 15 fires, 3 floodings, 1 capped base, or assisted capped base, 63 secondary hits for 5,500 base XP in a tier 4 carrier. Fires and floodings did 46,000, almost 47,000 damage. Secondary battery did 14,000 damage. Torpedoes did 54,000, and bombs did 32,000 damage. I'll have to rewatch this video and see how many secondary kills I actually did get. There's at least maybe 3 or 4. So you can see how your secondaries may not be the worst thing on this ship. You can definitely use them. Your limiting factors are going to be, well, just your aircraft itself, but even then I wasn't really having any trouble with them. There wasn't any real instances where I lost too many aircraft. Obviously, you're going to have to upgrade your aircraft because you get at least 300 more health per your aircraft. So the stock ones are going to be shot down relatively easily, or at least more easily than the upgraded ones. But yeah, this is a fun little ship. And this is my favorite low tier 4 carrier. Simply because you have the ability to use your ship in case you need it. With Hosho or Langley, there's no way you can actually be effective with your secondaries there. With Hermes, you at least have a chance. And as you can see, it's pretty good against destroyers and cruisers. I got at least 3 cruiser kills with just secondaries. Obviously, they were pretty close to being sunk at that point anyways, but that's all you need. And they're fairly accurate. Aircraft dive bombers are good. Your fire chance is relatively low, I would think. 122? It didn't really feel like that, though. There was times where I was getting all 4 bomb hits, especially on that Kaiser, and I just was not getting any fires. Or maybe it was the Queen Mary. Regardless. Torpedoes, I think with British torpedoes, they actually have a pretty long arming distance, and I think I forgot that for this instance because American and Japanese carriers are just have so much lower arming distance. But yeah, your torpedo bombers can be useful if you know how to use them right. In this game, I didn't really use them as best as I could have. Dive bombers are pretty okay. They're really good against targets like cruisers or carriers. Secondaries are good for destroyers and cruisers. You saw the game. You know how the ship is at this point. It's a very, very good starting carrier. Not so much as to give you an introduction to the rest of the fleet or the tech tree line. This is pretty much the only British carrier that has decent secondaries. So everything else besides this ship, don't go secondary brawling with it. I assure you it will not go well for you. With that, it will wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe for further content. And join me tomorrow while we go over the next layout, which is the exact same thing we did today, except we have one aircraft added for each of our squadrons. So until then, thank you for watching and take care.